right, so we did 11 already, so let's do number 12. So 12 is 1/4 times 1/2. And the good thing about doing fractions, multiplying fractions, is you literally just multiply. So 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 2 is, so the answer is 1/8. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we have to know our math facts. Ta-da! All right, let's turn it over on to 13. Now 13 gets a little bit harder because we start talking about volume. And when we did area, let's pull this down into the screen. When we did area in 4th grade, you did length times width. Yes? Okay. So now we're going to do length times width times height because we are talking about the amount of liquid it would take to fill that shape. So we have to label our shape. So first thing we're going to do is length. So what is the length here? 3. What's our width this way? 3. And then how many blocks high is it? 1. So this equation would be 3 times 3 times 1. So that one's not too hard. So what's 3 times 3? 9 times 1? 9. So 9 cubic units. You would have to have 9 cubic units of water to fill this shape. All right? Yes. Okay. Number 14 is draw 2 trapezoids. All right. So that's going to be you draw 2 trapezoids. Now remember, trapezoids are what? They are quadrilaterals. What else do we know? Polygons. They are polygons. What else? They have one set of parallel sides. Doesn't matter which side it is. It has to be one set of parallel sides. So go ahead and draw me 2 different trapezoids. There's not a wrong answer here as long as it's a quadrilateral. They're polygons, which means it has to be a closed shape, and it can only have one set of parallel sides. So I'm going to draw one like... I'm going to draw one like that, because that is a trapezoid. And then you have to do one more. As long as only one side is parallel, you have made a trapezoid.
Wait, are parallel sides that connect?
No, parallel sides are sides that go in the exact same direction and will never, ever touch. So the top and the bottom of this one are parallel. They're going in the same direction and they will never touch. So when you draw, like if you draw a traditional trapezoid, you have like a short top and a long bottom. Those are parallel because they're going in the same direction and they will never touch. These 2 sidelines are not parallel because they're going in opposite directions.
And they would touch.
Eventually, if you extended them out, those would touch. Absolutely. All right, well, since I gave you both answers, let's go ahead and go down. All right, so when we multiply by 10, we're doing what? What are we doing? We're moving over one place, right? And we have to put that placeholder as a 0. So if we have 347 times 10, you would write 347 and you would add a 0 because you move everything over one place. Okay, now if I'm timesing by 100, how many places am I moving over? 2, absolutely. So I would say 3, 4, 7, and 2 zeros. All right, now it gets a little harder. Times 1,000, how many places am I moving over? 3. So I'm going to say 3, 4, 7, and 1, 2, 3 zeros. So that's when you're multiplying by whole numbers. You're multiplying by multiples of 10. Now, if you're multiplying by parts of 1, which would be your decimals, you're losing a place. Okay, you're not gaining, you're losing. So this would be 3, 4, 7. And because there's one place after the decimal, I go one place and I put my decimal right there. Because there's one place after the decimal, see? One place. So there's one place here. All right. So now if there's two places after the decimal, I would say 3, 4, 7. And then I would say 1, 2 places, and I would put my decimal right there. And then this is 3 places. So I'm going to say 3, 4, 7, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And my decimal should now be in front of the 3. So when you're multiplying by whole numbers, multiples of 10, you're adding a 0. You're moving over a place. But if you're multiplying by a decimal, you're losing places. See how that worked? Your numbers got smaller. You're getting smaller. All right. Grab your math notebook. Let's do some graphing today. All right, here we go. Today is the 26th. Woo, you guys make a lot of noise. All right. So we're going to go with I can what? What do you think we're going to do today? We've got to do patterns, so I can find a pattern, and today we're going to graph it. So I can find the rule for a pattern. And construct a graph. So today's going to be a little bit harder because we're going to not only have to make the pattern, but make the graph. Ooh, Ocean. Okay. All right, so first things first is I need you to go down 6 boxes and construct your T-chart for your X and Y like we've been doing. So go down 6 boxes and construct it. Hey. She can't be in the right meeting because I can't see her to approve her. She has to go through Canvas. So she has to log into Canvas, go to math, and click on the Zoom link, and I will automatically let her in. If she is not going through Canvas, I can't see her to pull her in.
There we go. Chart looks beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, tell her if she can't get in through Canvas, that I will call her back in just a few minutes if I don't see her to pull her in, to walk her through it. All right, thanks. Bye. All right. So here we go. We're going to do this real quick and get this thing. You're going to go down 6 people, or six people. 6 lines. Yep. So I'm going to draw mine very quickly because you guys should have already started yours. I can't get my pencil. There we go.
Oh, wait.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to draw that rectangle. All right. It's all right if you have more than that. It's okay. All right. So let's do an X and a Y and split it. And I'm going to start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to write rule over here because I have 2 questions to ask myself. All right. So the first one is what? Yes.
Did we go up
Did we go up or down? Did we increase or decrease? So we're going to draw my arrows. And then the second question is what? How much? Absolutely. How much? Absolutely. Good job. How much?
Raise of hands, how many get lunch?
They're all, oh, lunch. How many people need lunch?
Lunches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any more?
Thank you. All right. So let's do 4. So we're going to put our first y at 4. So here we go. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to say we're going from 0 to 4. Is that an increase or a decrease? It's an increase. So let's go ahead and I'm going to give you the next y, because if we're increasing, it could be multiplying or adding, right? So let's look at the second one. We have a 1 to a 5. Are we adding or are we multiplying?
Adding.
We are adding. And what are we adding? How much? 4. All right, so let's go through and finish our y. So 2 plus 4 is 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. And 4 plus 4 is 8. So what would my equation look like? It would be x, and then I put that line, remember, because this is telling me where my what goes.
The number.
My rule. So plus 4 equals y. Perfect. So x plus 4 equals y. All right. So now let's do this. Let's go down here, and we know we have to go up to at least 8, because that's where my number is the highest. So I'm going to start drawing my graph. Okay? Now, because this is an 8, make sure you go down at least 9 rows. Okay? And I'm going to shift my paper just a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about by that. And then go over. And I'm going to start labeling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So see how when you went down at least 8 lines, you know you had enough for your graph. And that's why I have you do that. Whatever your farthest number is on Y, you want to make sure you go down at least that many lines. If not, you're not going to have enough. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over. And again, you want to make sure you have enough for your X's. Okay? You don't want to stop at 3 because you have to plot a 4. And I just happen to have 8, so it's fine. It's fine. It's completely fine. As long as you have at least what you need, you will be okay. All right. So now we have to graph it. So my first X is 0. Oh, I forgot to put origin on here. My bad. Thank you all. Those who corrected me, good job. So your origin is at 0, 0. All right, so here we go. So let's start graphing. Our first X is at 0, so we don't have to move it all on X, but we do have to go up 4. Because X, remember, goes to the right and Y goes over, goes up. So here we go. I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put my intersection point for my ordered pairs right there. That is my first one at 4. All right, my second one, my X is 1, and I have to go up how many? What's my Y for 1? It's on your paper. 5. So go over 1, up 5. All right. The next one, my x is 2, so I'm going 1, 2, and I go up how many? 6. All right. Go back to origin. My next x is 3, and
You forgot to put the X. You forgot to put the X and the Y on beside the line.
Elliot, you are absolutely right. Thank you, sir. Absolutely right. Good job. All right. See, this is why I keep Elliot around. He keeps me on my toes. Make sure I'm doing it right. All right. Where we at? 3. If my x is 3, what is my y? 7. All right. Last one. If my x is 4, what is my y? 8. So if I'm not mistaken, you told me that my pattern was increasing. Is my points increasing? Oh, it's almost like that is supposed to correspond and do the exact same thing. Look at that. Mine's a little crooked too. It's because I didn't use a ruler, but it's okay. So that if your pattern is increasing, your graph should be increasing. If it's not, something's not right. Okay? They should match. So if your pattern is increasing, your graph should be increasing. Does that make sense? All right. Awesome. Let's go ahead and pull